In the quiet vastness of the sky, where the clouds seem gentle and the horizon endless, most perceive air travel as a seamless transition from one place to another, a routine journey wrapped in comfort and safety. Yet, hidden beneath this serene picture lies a reality far more complex and fragile, a reality where every second, every decision, and every mechanical hum can alter the course of hundreds of lives. Imagine for a moment being thousands of feet above the earth, cruising through the vast blue, when suddenly the unimaginable begins to unfold. The engines stutter, alarms scream through the cockpit, and the plane, your vessel through the skies, starts to betray its very purpose. You are entering the final minutes of an impending disaster where courage is tested, instincts sharpen, and survival becomes a desperate battle against time itself. This is not just any flight, this is a journey into the heart of calamity, a flight caught in the merciless grip of fate, where the boundaries between life and death blur. It's in these moments, when the roar of engines is replaced by the tense silence of shattered hope, that the true drama of flying reveals itself, not through the eyes of passengers fooled by routine but through the cockpit recordings that capture whispered last words and frantic commands, through the testimonies of survivors who defied overwhelming odds, and through the relentless investigations that piece together the broken fragments of tragedy. What really happens inside a crashing plane is a story of fear, heroism, confusion, and the fragile resilience of the human spirit. As this documentary unfolds, it will take you deep into those final moments often missed by the public eye but painstakingly captured by cockpit voice recorders, flight data logs, and survivor accounts. These are the raw, unfiltered realities of a plane in distress. The sound of pilots communicating urgent warnings, the deafening alerts blaring through the cabin, the desperate efforts of crew and passengers alike striving to grasp any chance of survival. It is a story that resonates far beyond the mechanics of aviation, touching the very core of human endurance and the instinct to live when faced with the ultimate test. The journey begins with the initial signs of trouble, often subtle and easily mistaken for routine hiccups in the complex orchestration of flight. A flicker on the instrument panel, a hesitation in the engines, or an unusual vibration. For the seasoned pilots, these are signals that set off a cascade of rapid assessments and response protocols. But in the blink of an eye, what once seemed manageable spirals into chaos, systems fail, alarms pierce through the background hum, and the plane begins a terrifying descent or an uncontrollable trajectory toward the ground. Passengers, many unaware of the gravity of the situation until the last seconds, face a surreal transition from calm to panic. This narrative is more than an exploration of technical failures, it is a human story. It is the story of individuals, passengers clutching memories and loved ones, cabin crew forced to maintain order amidst looming disaster, and pilots battling not just machinery but their own fears and hopes. It is also about those who survive against all odds, who live to recount horrors that seem incomprehensible, offering invaluable insights into how tragedy unfolds and why some make it through while others do not. Their stories are etched with despair and hope, pain and courage. To truly understand what happens in a plane's final moments, it is essential to listen to the voices locked within cockpit recordings. These haunting audio files document pilots' last conversations, decisions made under intense pressure, and the eerie calm or chaos that envelops them. From the first hint of trouble to the final impact, these recordings strip away speculation and reveal the stark reality faced by those who command the flight. They expose the fine line between heroism and tragedy, showing the pilots as human beings grappling with impossible situations, often with mere seconds to react and sometimes without any avenue of escape. Simultaneously, the experiences of survivors provide another dimension. These rare accounts illuminate what happens inside the cabin, how passengers and crew respond, and the immediate aftermath of impact. Survivor testimonies are filled with vivid recollections of moments stretching into eternities, the sound of tearing metal, the struggle to escape, the shock of sudden silence, and the surreal sense of being one of the few left behind in a scene of devastation. Their resilience, often aided by quick thinking or sheer luck, reminds us of the extraordinary capacity of the human will. This documentary invites listeners not just to witness events but to feel the weight of those last minutes, to experience the mounting tension, the heartbreak, and the small glimmers of hope flickering in what often seems an overwhelming darkness. It is an immersive journey into the final flight path of doomed aircraft, a journey that educates, captivates, and profoundly moves. Above all, it serves as a solemn tribute to lives lost and the ongoing quest to learn from every tragedy to make the skies safer for all. The final minutes inside a crashing plane are a collision of science, emotion, and fate, played out at an altitude where time itself seems distorted. It is a place where routine procedures clash with unforeseen disaster, where training is put to the ultimate test, and where ordinary people are thrust into extraordinary circumstances. Each crash is unique, yet they share themes of fragility, rapid decision-making, panic, and sometimes miraculous survival. As the engines quiet and the ground rushes closer, the documentary will guide you through layers of cause and effect, human reaction, and technological failure. It will reveal how investigators use every piece of evidence from black box recordings to wreckage analysis to reconstruct these last moments with painstaking detail. The story is as much about preventing future disasters as it is about understanding this one flight's final descent. So settle in and allow yourself to be drawn into this exploration of what happens inside a crashing plane. Listen to the voices that never lie, feel the tension of the hours leading up to impact, and hear the tales of survival that defy belief. This is not a tale of fear alone, but one of bravery, humanity, and the inexhaustible will to survive against the odds. It is a deeply human story told from the rarest of perspectives, the last minutes inside a crashing plane. The cockpit of a modern aircraft is often regarded as the most secure fortress in the sky, a place equipped with an array of sophisticated instruments and technology designed to guide a plane safely from departure to arrival. Yet, amid this technological sanctuary lies one of aviation safety's most crucial yet haunting devices, the cockpit voice recorder, or CVR. This seemingly unassuming black box holds within its memory the unvarnished truth of a flight's final moments. It captures every clipped word, every strained breath, every alarm siren that pierces through the tense silence. The CVR does not lie, it reveals the raw, human story behind the mechanics of catastrophe, providing investigators, and eventually the world, an essential window into the intense, frantic, and sometimes heartbreaking reality inside the cockpit during a crash scenario. Understanding the importance of the cockpit voice recorder begins with recognizing what it records. Unlike other flight data systems that focus on mechanical parameters like speed, altitude, and engine thrust, the CVR records sounds, ambient noises, radio communications, and above all, the voices of the flight crew. It lends us the ability to not only reconstruct what happened but to grasp the emotional and psychological state of those pilots tasked with steering a metal vessel hurtling through the skies at over 500 miles per hour. The knowledge that every conversation, every interaction, every exclamation is etched into this device adds a profound weight to its role. The last moments are not just technical data points, they are lived experience frozen in time. In the analysis of a crash, the CVR becomes a centerpiece. Investigators gather a specialized team representatives from the aircraft manufacturer, aviation authorities, the airline involved, and often the pilots' union to listen close, decipher, and transcribe every spoken word and significant sound. This transcript is then cross-referenced meticulously with flight data recorder, FDR, information and air traffic control, ATC, logs. Through this triangulation, the complex narrative of a flight's demise emerges: the initial technical anomaly, pilot responses, air traffic communications, and ultimately, the moments of irreversible failure. Such recordings have shed light on numerous tragedies, illuminating not just procedural missteps, but also moments of unparalleled heroism. One of the most unsettling revelations uncovered by CVR analysis are moments where things go wrong not because of mechanical failure, but human error or deliberate action. Take the tragic case of Air India Flight 171 in 2025. Cockpit voice recordings revealed a bewildering episode where the engine fuel control switches were flipped from run to cut off shortly after takeoff, causing both engines to lose power and the plane to fall from the sky. The recordings captured the first officer's incredulous question, "Why did you cut off the fuel?" And the captain's denial, "I didn't do that." No definitive answer has been established publicly, and the investigation remained shrouded in controversy and mystery, highlighting the limits of even the most sophisticated technology when there is ambiguity in human behavior. This incident underscores how CVRs capture not only technical and operational reality but also human tension, despair, and sometimes, conflicting truths. Delving deeper, the sounds captured on a CVR provide key indicators beyond spoken words alone. The noises of engine sputtering, warning alarms, clicks indicating system engagement or failure, and even subtle ambient sounds become vital clues. For example, an engine rolling back, a sudden burst of wind noise, or the flapping of mechanical components detected audibly can pinpoint moments of failure or attempt at recovery. Combined with flight data, this audiological mosaic enables investigators to pinpoint the sequence and timing of critical failures, whether it was a stalled engine, loss of cabin pressure, or a control surface freezing. Often, these sounds reveal the gradual unraveling of a flight's integrity before the catastrophic finale. Moreover, cockpit voice recordings humanize the technical investigation by exposing the psychological and emotional dimensions of crisis. Pilot voices may shift subtly from routine professional calm to rising tension or panic. Hesitation might mark decision delays, and sometimes cryptic phrases reveal confusion or uncertainty. Many investigations have shown pilots running through emergency checklists with steady determination, trying desperately to regain control or prepare for impact, only to be met with further system failures or mechanical impossibilities. These captured moments grant us unique insight into the extraordinary demands placed on pilots during emergencies, where split-second decisions can be a thin line between survival and disaster. The CVR's role is not limited to post-accident analyses. It has transformed airline safety by providing data that can be analyzed proactively. With increasing detail from flights worldwide, patterns of near misses, minor system failures, and pilot decision errors can be studied to improve training programs, aircraft design, and emergency procedures. However, the full potential of cockpit recordings remains hampered by concerns over privacy and the sensitivity of recorded conversations. Legal frameworks protect the confidentiality of these recordings, and the release of transcripts is highly regulated to balance transparency with respect for the crew's privacy. Interestingly, the debate over enhancing cockpit surveillance has gained momentum, especially after tragedies like Air India Flight 171, where the lack of video evidence has frustrated investigators and the public alike. While black boxes capture audio and mechanical data, video cameras installed inside cockpits could provide an even clearer record showing pilot actions, instrument displays, and cockpit environment. Some aviation safety experts argue that this would shorten investigation times and reduce speculation, while pilot unions and privacy advocates warn of the risks associated with constant monitoring, fearing misuse or invasion of personal space. The Flight Data Recorder, FDR, works in tandem with the CVR to paint a fuller picture. Whereas the CVR captures the human voices and sounds, the FDR tracks hundreds of parameters continuously during flight: altitude, airspeed, heading, pitch, roll, flap settings, autopilot status, and more. When combined, these records allow investigators to reconstruct the entire flight path, visualize the aircraft's attitude at every second, and overlay crew conversations onto the technical timeline. This comprehensive reconstruction helps unravel the mystery shrouding a disaster: what initially went wrong, how the crew responded, and why certain outcomes occurred. In the broader context of plane crashes, CVR analysis reveals common patterns: incremental failures accumulating before a sudden, catastrophic event, moments of human error compounded by mechanical issues, and the crucial role of teamwork within the cockpit. Investigators have learned that fatal accidents rarely stem from a single cause. Instead, they emerge from a complex interplay of factors: a faulty sensor, a misinterpreted warning, a procedural lapse, and sometimes, unforeseen circumstances such as extreme weather. The CVR's minute-by-minute record is indispensable in piecing together this intricate puzzle. Moreover, CVR transcripts can be emotionally gripping, reminding us that behind every statistic and technical term are real people facing extraordinary circumstances. They can speak with remarkable calm even as disaster looms, or bolt into rapid commands as tension ratchets up. These voices bring a tragic immediacy to the event: pilots issuing mayday calls, coordinating emergency responses, or offering words of reassurance where possible. They often demonstrate both professionalism and profound humanity in the face of overwhelming odds. In cases where crew actions are unclear, such as suspected deliberate acts or cockpit interference, CVR data is perhaps most critical and controversial. It raises questions not just about technical causality but also about mental health, intentions, and accountability. Air crash investigations now increasingly include psychological autopsies, factoring in insights gained from cockpit audio. This has led to improved screening for pilot well-being and changes in cockpit protocols, such as requiring 2 authorized personnel in the cockpit at all times, aiming to prevent similar tragedies. The meticulous work done with CVR evidence does not end with investigators. Their findings inform industry-wide changes. Training modules are updated to emphasize lessons learned. Aircraft manufacturers might redesign cockpit controls, and airlines improve communication procedures. Aviation authorities publish recommendations that shape policy, enhance safety regulations, and push technological innovations. Every recording listened to, every word transcribed, becomes a building block for safer skies worldwide. It is worth highlighting that, despite all scrutiny and advanced technology, some mysteries linger. Sometimes the CVR is damaged or partially erased by the violent impact, or the recordings present ambiguities difficult to interpret conclusively. In others, voices might be indistinct or overlapping, requiring expert audio analysis and voice recognition software. There are instances where even with audio and data, the exact chain of events cannot be fully understood, leaving families, investigators, and the aviation community searching for answers. Nevertheless, the value of the cockpit voice recorder in aviation safety cannot be overstated. Its presence compels transparency, accountability, and continuous learning. It transforms tragedies into opportunities to prevent future loss of life, serving as a silent witness to the courage, failures, and resilience of those who take to the skies. For survivors and victims' families, knowing that every effort is made to understand what happened is a small solace amid grief. As we continue this journey through the final minutes of crashing planes, the examination of cockpit recordings reveals not just how flights end but why they end: the human decisions, technical failures, environmental challenges, and psychological struggles all intertwined. It is this blend of science and humanity that makes the study of the final moment so compelling and indispensable. We gain in-depth insights that challenge assumptions, guide reforms, and honor the memories of those who did not survive by striving to make every future flight safer. Thus, the cockpit voice recorder stands as both a grim memorial and a beacon of progress, recording every cry, command, and silence inside the cockpit. It offers an unparalleled glimpse into aviation's greatest dramas and fuels the ongoing mission to understand and survive the unthinkable in the skies. In the high-stakes world of aviation, where human lives depend on the flawless functioning of dozens of complex systems, technical malfunctions have often been a tragic catalyst behind many catastrophic crashes. Despite rigorous safety checks, regular maintenance, and technological advancements, planes remain vulnerable to unexpected mechanical or structural failures. These failures can manifest in countless ways, challenging even the most experienced crews and state-of-the-art automation, particularly during critical phases like takeoff and landing, where margins for error are razor-thin. One of the most common and sudden technical failures that have contributed to plane crashes occurs during or shortly after takeoff. This period, characterized by rapid ascent, high engine thrust, and configuration changes like flap retraction, is especially demanding. Even minuscule faults in engines, avionics, or control surfaces can quickly escalate into uncontrollable emergencies. For instance, bird strikes during this window remain a persistent hazard. These natural intrusions can cause immediate engine damage or failure, as was famously demonstrated by the successful Hudson River emergency landing of U.S. Airways Flight 1549. After that event's engines ingested a flock of birds. Yet, many bird strike incidents are far less forgiving, resulting in sudden thrust loss and catastrophic consequences without warning. Beyond wildlife interference, rapid meteorological phenomena such as microbursts and wind shear are silent but deadly threats. Wind shear involves abrupt shifts in wind speed or direction, which can drastically reduce lift and airspeed at low altitudes. Microbursts, intense downward gusts, pose an existential threat during takeoff when planes have minimal altitude or time to react. These conditions may evade early detection, overwhelming pilots with rapidly deteriorating flight parameters. The tragic crash of Delta Flight 191 near Dallas in 1985 exemplifies how such invisible forces can break an aircraft's momentum, leaving pilots struggling against nature's unpredictability. Mechanical and electronic sensor malfunctions represent another deep hazard. Modern aircraft rely heavily on sensors that relay crucial data like angle of attack, airspeed, altitude, and flight path to both pilots and onboard computer systems. A malfunctioning sensor can provide erroneous data that causes flight control systems to behave improperly. One of the most infamous instances was the MCAS malfunction on the Boeing 737 MAX jets, where an erroneous angle of attack sensor reading repeatedly forced the nose of the aircraft down despite pilots' efforts to counteract it. This flawed automation led to 2 deadly crashes, underscoring the complexity and interdependence of human and machine within modern cockpits. Undetected or latent structural failures also present a stealthy but fatal risk. Aircraft structures undergo immense stress throughout their lifespan, from repeated pressurization cycles to extreme forces during turbulence or high-speed maneuvers. While maintenance programs include rigorous inspections, some hidden metal fatigue, cracks, or corrosion can persist unnoticed. A poignant example is Japan Airlines Flight 123, which suffered a fatal crash due to a faulty repair in the rear pressure bulkhead. The repair, involving a single row of rivets instead of 2 as required, failed after thousands of pressurization cycles. The breach caused explosive decompression, severing critical hydraulic controls and leaving the crew to control the plane using only engine thrust. Despite their heroic and sustained efforts, control was ultimately lost. This tragedy illustrates how a small oversight or maintenance error can quietly sow the seeds of disaster over years. Engine failures not only occur due to bird strikes but may also arise from mechanical defects, manufacturing flaws, or inadequate maintenance. Engines subjected to extreme mechanical stress, sometimes exacerbated by faulty components or lubrication systems, risk sudden shutdown when least expected. Though twin-engine planes are designed to fly safely with one engine out, losing thrust in both engines or during critical phases of flight can swiftly overwhelm pilots. The response to such failure is equally critical. Incorrect pilot inputs under stress can magnify the severity of the situation, potentially leading to loss of control or stall. This convergence of technical failure and human error lies at the heart of many fatal crashes. Compounding these risks are the increasingly complex software and automation systems that govern modern aircraft. While designed to enhance safety, these systems can behave unpredictably under certain flight conditions. Flight control logic might behave differently in flight than during pre-flight ground tests, sometimes due to software bugs or unforeseen interactions between subsystems. This unpredictability can result in unexpected flight behavior or abrupt takeovers by the autopilot systems, catching crews off guard and complicating emergency response. The complexity of these systems demands continuous vigilance, thorough testing, and impeccable crew understanding to avoid becoming contributors rather than guards against catastrophe. In addition to mechanical and software faults, sabotage remains a dark and rare factor causing crashes. Instances of internal threats, tampering, or explosive devices, though infrequent, have shattered the aviation world's sense of invulnerability. The delicate balance between stringent security protocols and evolving threat vectors continues to challenge the industry's ability to prevent covert sabotage. The repercussions of such acts extend beyond the physical destruction, shaking public confidence and forcing regulatory bodies to adapt constantly. Faulty or jammed flight control surfaces constitute yet another domain of technical failure. Components like rudders, elevators, or ailerons may jam due to mechanical defects, poor maintenance, or manufacturing anomalies. This failure is often catastrophic during takeoff or climb when aerodynamic pressures increase and control demands are highest. Loss of control surfaces can render a plane uncontrollable, with pilots desperately attempting to compensate using limited remaining controls or thrust management. The potential for such failure requires rigorous inspection regimes and redundant control systems. Closely tied to technical problems are failures in cockpit communication and crew resource management, CRM. Brief moments of miscommunication, misunderstanding authority, or incorrect execution of procedures can worsen an already critical situation. The compressed timeline during emergencies accentuates these risks as crews scramble to diagnose and rectify problems. Disputes about who has control of the aircraft, confusion over alarms, and human factors such as fatigue or stress can lead to delayed or inappropriate responses, further imperiling the flight. Together these factors form a chilling matrix of vulnerability during the plane's final critical minutes. Technical malfunctions, by themselves or intertwined with human error, progressively dismantle the safety net designed to protect lives. The gradual unraveling often begins with minor anomalies that grow unchecked due to complexity, oversight, or misjudgment. As systems fail one by one, the flight crew wrestles desperately with an invisible adversary, time itself. Every second counts as options narrow, split-second decisions make the difference between controlled emergency landing and uncontrollable free fall. The tragic paradox of such malfunctions is that they often arise in spite of, rather than because of, the immense safety culture and technology investments within aviation. These systems save millions of lives every day, yet the improbable but fatal failures remind us that absolute safety remains elusive. Continuous advancements in materials, diagnostics, pilot training, and automation strive to reduce the risk, but nature, human limitations, and technology's complexity ensure the possibility of failure remains. These technical malfunctions are not merely engineering failures, they unfold as human dramas inside the cockpit. Pilots confront a rapidly disintegrating reality, where routines are shattered and the primitive fight for survival emerges. Systems they trust betray them without warning. Instruments flash warnings and alarms, voices crack through tense radio exchanges, and control inputs struggle against a rapidly disobedient machine. The cockpit becomes a battleground not just between pilot and machine but also against time, fear, and the unknown. From a broader perspective, each technical failure carries lessons that shape the future of aviation safety. Accident investigations yield valuable insights into design flaws, maintenance lapses, procedural gaps, and human factors. These findings drive regulatory changes that mandate improved inspection methods, enhanced pilot training with simulation of rare failures, and development of fail-safe systems. Aircraft manufacturers redesign components for resiliency, and airlines adopt tighter quality controls. The interplay between learning from failure and technological innovation defines aviation's relentless quest towards safer skies. Understanding these technical failures deepens appreciation of the invisible threads that hold modern aviation aloft. It also opens a window into the fragile complexities that can dissolve within moments, leading to catastrophic outcomes. In comprehending the mechanics and implications of these malfunctions, the human stories become even more compelling: the failure of crews, the vulnerability of passengers, and the persistent hope that every flight will reach its destination safely. This exploration of technical faults is crucial not just for the record of what goes wrong, but as a stark reminder of how precarious and precious flight safety truly is. It motivates ongoing vigilance, scientific inquiry, and humanity's determination to learn, adapt, and overcome even the deadliest challenges in the skies. In the face of such relentless challenges, the final minutes of a crashing plane reveal not only disaster but the profound capacities for problem-solving, courage, and survival that define aviation's story. Implementing aviation safety regulations represents one of the most critical yet challenging aspects of ensuring safe skies worldwide. These complex rules and standards are crafted meticulously by global and regional bodies such as the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA. Their purpose is to minimize risks, standardize procedures, and continuously improve aviation safety performance. Yet, translating these regulations from paper to active, effective practice in the diverse and dynamic aviation industry is fraught with challenges, obstacles, and complexities that extend beyond technical requirements. At the heart of these challenges lies the need for a cultural transformation in aviation organizations. Safety management systems, SMS, have been mandated globally as a framework to proactively identify, assess, and mitigate risks. However, the successful SMS implementation demands a shift from traditional reactive safety measures towards a proactive, data-driven, and transparent safety culture. Resistance to cultural change is common, especially in organizations with long-standing blame-based approaches where employees fear punitive consequences for reporting errors or hazards. In such environments, frontline workers may withhold critical safety information, thereby undermining the system's ability to prevent future incidents. Overcoming this resistance requires leadership commitment to fostering a just culture, a culture that encourages open communication and treats safety reports as opportunities for learning, rather than grounds for punishment. Leadership buy-in is foundational. Senior management must visibly champion SMS implementation and safety priorities, not just through policy but by embedding safety into everyday operational decisions. This includes regular communication about the importance of safety, participation in safety reviews, and reinforcing the message that identifying risks helps protect lives and property. When employees see leaders valuing safety and supporting open reporting, trust builds, empowering individuals to actively engage in safety initiatives. Training plays a complementary role, educating staff on SMS principles and how their participation shapes safer operations. Clear policies that guarantee non-punitive treatment for reporting hazards except in extreme misconduct help ensure employees feel secure. Finally, closing feedback loops by sharing the outcomes of safety reports with employees reinforces trust and demonstrates that their involvement leads to real, positive changes. Another significant challenge involves managing the overwhelming volume and complexity of regulatory requirements. The aviation industry is regulated by multiple authorities worldwide, each prescribing detailed instructions covering everything from aircraft design, maintenance, flight operations, and crew qualifications to airport security and air traffic control. This regulatory landscape often overlaps and varies across jurisdictions, making it difficult for operators, especially those with multinational routes, to ensure seamless compliance. Navigating this maze demands a proactive approach involving continuous monitoring of frequent updates, amendments, and guidelines issued by different authorities. Staying informed is critical to avoid lapses that could result not only in safety risks but severe legal and financial consequences. Organizations can address this challenge through safety management tools that centralize compliance monitoring and risk assessment. Advanced digital platforms designed for aviation SMS enable safety officers to organize documentation effectively, link risk records with mitigation actions, and maintain a clear audit trail. These tools streamline workflows, reduce human error in record keeping, and facilitate timely completion of compliance tasks. Combined with rigorous internal and external audits, such systems help identify gaps before they escalate, ensuring operators remain ready for regulatory scrutiny and able to adapt quickly to changes. Leveraging technology in this manner turns complexity into a manageable, strategic advantage. Documentation and record-keeping themselves pose a formidable compliance challenge. Accurate, up-to-date records are essential to demonstrate adherence to regulations and safety protocols, support investigations, and maintain operational transparency. However, the sheer volume of paperwork and manuals can overwhelm organizations reliant solely on manual systems or outdated filing methods. Missed deadlines, misplaced documents, or incomplete reports can jeopardize compliance status, putting operations and reputations at risk. Modern digital document management integrated with SMS platforms brings vital improvements. These systems provide searchable databases, automatic reminders for renewal of certifications or inspections, and real-time visibility of safety metrics. They also foster collaboration between departments, ensuring that flight operations, maintenance crews, and safety officers remain aligned. One of the biggest ongoing challenges is ensuring that aviation personnel receive comprehensive, timely training that keeps pace with evolving regulatory and technological landscapes. Regulations are frequently updated in response to lessons learned from incidents, technological innovation, and emerging threats. Crew members, maintenance staff, and air traffic controllers must stay current with revised procedures, new equipment, and best practices for threat mitigation. However, delivering consistent, up-to-date training across dispersed, diverse workforces is complex. Scheduling conflicts, access to training resources, and varying proficiency levels often hinder effective knowledge transfer. Innovative solutions in aviation-specific education, including online platforms, simulation-based training, and mobile learning, offer promising ways to overcome these hurdles. Platforms tailored for the industry provide customizable, comprehensive courses that adapt to changing standards and operational realities. Integrating training completion tracking with SMS systems helps operators verify compliance and identify personnel needing refresher courses. These technologies increase accessibility, reduce downtime, and ensure that all team members maintain the skills and awareness necessary to operate safely. A well-trained workforce is the cornerstone of effective compliance and the last line of defense against unforeseen hazards. Resource constraints remain a pervasive obstacle for many aviation operators, especially smaller airlines, regional airports, or maintenance providers. Implementing safety regulations and SMS programs requires dedicated personnel, funding, technology investment, and ongoing management attention. Without sufficient resources, safety initiatives may become fragmented or reactive rather than systematic and proactive. This increases the risk of overlooking critical risks and undermines efforts to foster a safety culture. Capital and operational budgets often prioritize immediate commercial pressures over long-term safety investments, especially in competitive markets facing narrow profit margins. To manage limited resources effectively, operators must adopt strategic planning focused on identifying high-risk areas with the greatest potential safety impact. Prioritizing compliance activities, automating routine tasks, and utilizing centralized management tools help concentrate efforts and reduce administrative burdens. Safety officers play a vital role by coordinating cross-functional teams, advocating for necessary investments, and leveraging risk analysis to direct scarce resources where they are most needed. Integrating SMS with broader quality and risk management systems can further optimize safety outcomes while supporting operational efficiency. Another profound challenge is cultural resistance within aviation organizations. Safety regulations demand not only specific actions but a comprehensive mindset embracing continuous vigilance, accountability, and teamwork. When safety is seen merely as a bureaucratic hurdle or cost burden, rather than an operational priority, compliance suffers. Employees may view safety protocols as inconvenient or unnecessary, leading to uneven enforcement, incomplete reporting, and unsafe shortcuts. Shifting this perspective requires consistent messaging from leadership, involvement of employees at all levels in safety dialogues, and embedding safety values into performance evaluations and reward systems. Cultures that celebrate safety achievements and learn openly from mistakes cultivate a shared commitment essential for lasting compliance. On the regulatory front, aviation authorities face their own implementation challenges. Balancing stringent oversight with cooperation is delicate. Authorities must design regulations that are robust yet practical and must provide clear guidance to minimize ambiguity for operators. Inspection resources and expertise are finite, and rapidly evolving technologies challenge regulators to keep pace with the industry they oversee. International harmonization efforts, led by ICAO, strive to minimize conflicting rules between countries, but differences remain, complicating operations and regulatory compliance for global carriers. Financial and logistical considerations also affect regulation implementation. Advanced safety systems, new training techniques, and equipment upgrades require substantial investment. Developing countries or smaller operators may struggle to absorb these costs, risking regulatory gaps or delays. International partnerships, aid programs, and industry collaborations help bridge these divides, promoting global safety standards while respecting local realities. Technology itself brings both solutions and complexities. Digitalization enables better data collection, analysis, and performance monitoring, supporting predictive safety management. Yet, integrating new technologies safely requires rigorous validation, staff training, and adaptation of existing procedures. Cybersecurity emerges as a critical new dimension, as threats to aviation information systems could destabilize safety operations. Regulatory frameworks must evolve to address these emerging risks without stifling innovation. In recent years, aviation safety management systems have become more sophisticated, incorporating risk-based decision-making, data analytics, and human factors science. However, implementing these advanced approaches requires mature organizational structures, skilled personnel, and supportive leadership. Many operators face a steep learning curve transitioning from compliance-driven checklists to dynamic risk management philosophies. Success depends on ongoing education, collaboration, and the development of effective metrics to measure safety culture and performance. Ultimately, the challenges of implementing aviation safety regulations highlight the complex interplay between technology, human factors, organizational culture, economics, and regulation. Achieving and maintaining compliance requires holistic strategies that address technical requirements while fostering a culture of safety excellence and continuous improvement. Each new accident, incident, or near miss offers lessons that feed into this evolutionary process, driving regulatory updates, operational changes, and innovation. For passengers, the visible calm of the cabin and confidence inspired by airline professionalism mask a behind-the-scenes world of rigorous safety management. For operators and regulators alike, the work continues tirelessly to overcome these implementation challenges and raise the bar for safer skies. It is a never-ending journey where each advance in safety depends on successfully translating regulations from text into meaningful, effective practice every day, every flight, and every minute. This commitment remains the cornerstone of global civil aviation's remarkable safety record, even as new horizons of risk and technology emerge. Aviation safety training programs stand as the cornerstone of the global industry's exceptional safety record. These programs are meticulously designed to equip aviation personnel from pilots and cabin crew to maintenance technicians and air traffic controllers with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and decision-making capabilities essential for safe and efficient operations. However, the true measure of their value lies not only in the content delivered but in their effectiveness at preparing individuals to respond optimally under the immense pressures and complexities inherent to flight. As the aviation environment rapidly evolves with advancing technology, rising traffic volumes, and emerging risks, safety training programs must continuously adapt and improve to remain impactful. At the core of effective aviation safety training is the integration of theory with practical, scenario-based learning. Traditional didactic instruction lectures, manuals, and checklists forms the foundation for imparting standards, regulations, and procedures. Yet, aviation training has transcended these methods by embracing realistic simulations, role-playing, and immersive environments that challenge trainees to apply abstract knowledge to tangible, high-stress scenarios. Flight simulators, for example, reproduce the cockpit environment with remarkable fidelity, enabling pilots to practice emergency procedures, system failures, and decision-making without real-world risk. These sessions reinforce muscle memory and sharpen problem-solving skills so that responses become rapid, precise, and instinctive during actual emergencies. Complementing simulator work, scenario-based training for cabin crew focuses on crisis management, passenger evacuation, and communication skills. Practice drills mimic situations such as turbulence, fire, decompression, and medical emergencies, compelling crews to work cohesively, maintain calm, and deliver clear instructions vital to passenger safety. Maintenance personnel undergo hands-on training with real aircraft and components, learning to detect subtle signs of wear, potential failures, and critical compliance issues through practical experience beyond textbook study. This triad of immersive, experiential learning across roles ensures the entire safety ecosystem operates with synchronized competence and confidence. Evaluating whether training programs truly achieve their goals is both essential and challenging. Measuring the effectiveness of aviation safety training hinges on a balance between short-term academic outcomes and long-term behavioral changes. Pre- and post-assessments are indispensable tools here. They allow trainers to gauge knowledge acquisition quantitatively by testing understanding before training begins and reassessing after completion. Beyond mere recall of facts, well-designed assessments probe comprehension, application, and problem-solving aptitude. However, the ultimate proof of effectiveness occurs when trainees transfer classroom lessons into real-world safety practices and contribute tangibly to risk reduction. To capture this real-world impact, aviation organizations increasingly employ comprehensive safety management system (SMS) indicators and key performance metrics. Metrics such as hazard report frequency, incident rates, near-miss investigations, and adherence to best practices reflect whether training influences safety culture and operations positively. For example, after targeted training in hazard identification, airlines report a rise in employee submissions of safety issues, evidencing heightened situational awareness and proactive risk management. Conversely, reductions in serious incidents and improved audit outcomes affirm that training yields measurable operational improvements rather than superficial compliance. Modern aviation training programs also emphasize continuous learning and periodic retraining. Given the dynamic nature of aviation technology and regulations, initial training alone cannot maintain peak safety standards indefinitely. Refresher courses, recurrent simulator sessions, and updates on emerging industry trends ensure personnel remain current and vigilant. Organizations like ICAO advocate lifelong learning paradigms, where aviation professionals regularly refresh their competencies and adapt to innovations such as new avionics, automation changes, or revised procedures. This ongoing education strengthens resilience against complacency and skill degradation that could increase vulnerability during critical events. Technological advancements have revolutionized aviation safety training delivery. Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, are gaining traction as powerful tools to replicate complex flight scenarios and maintenance environments. These immersive technologies provide safe, cost-effective platforms for practicing rare but high-impact emergencies, enriching trainee engagement and knowledge retention. Online learning platforms also augment accessibility, allowing personnel worldwide to access standardized content and complete vital training modules flexibly. Data analytics integrated into these systems enable personalized learning paths and precise identification of knowledge or skill gaps, fostering targeted improvements. Challenges remain, however, in ensuring consistent, high-quality training across the global aviation workforce. Diverse operational contexts, varying resource availability between large airlines and regional operators, and geographic disparities pose obstacles. Many smaller organizations struggle to access state-of-the-art simulation technologies or experienced instructors. Budget constraints sometimes pressure training schedules or content depth, risking insufficient preparation. Overcoming these inequalities requires collaboration across industry stakeholders to share best practices, provide training aid programs, and promote regulatory harmonization, improving baseline safety competencies universally. Cultural factors heavily influence training effectiveness. Emphasizing a positive safety culture aligned with training objectives is crucial for embedding lessons into daily operations. If safety is perceived as a mandatory checkbox rather than an intrinsic value, training impacts weaken. Leadership plays pivotal roles by modeling safety-first attitudes, encouraging open communication, and rewarding adherence to safety procedures. Training programs that incorporate human factors education help personnel understand psychological pressures like stress, fatigue, and communication barriers that affect performance. Addressing these dimensions fosters a holistic approach that blends technical expertise with psychological readiness. Instructor quality and pedagogical innovation are equally vital. Experienced trainers with operational backgrounds provide credibility, mentorship, and practical insights, enriching learning experiences. Continuous professional development ensures instructors remain current with latest industry developments and instructional techniques. Integrating adult learning principles such as active participation, problem solving, and collaborative exercises enhances engagement, retention, and skill mastery. Feedback mechanisms where trainees evaluate instructors and training content promote ongoing refinement and enhanced relevance. Aviation regulators impose stringent standards governing training programs to maintain consistency and safety effectiveness. ICAO, FAA, and EASA establish training curriculum requirements and accreditation guidelines ensuring all personnel achieve competency levels appropriate to their roles. They emphasize competence-based training and assessment over rote curriculum completion, mandating simulation use and real-world scenario training. Regulatory oversight includes audits and surveillance to verify training quality and outcomes. These formal frameworks not only promote safety but also build public trust in air travel. Aviation safety training programs have demonstrated measurable benefits beyond accident prevention. Skilled and confident crews improve operational efficiency, reduce disruptions, and enhance passenger experience through competent handling of routine and unexpected situations. Training also reduces industry costs related to insurance, regulatory penalties, and incident investigations. Airlines with robust training programs receive better safety ratings, strengthening their market reputations and customer trust. The future of aviation safety training lies in embracing emerging technologies and data-driven approaches while fostering inclusive, culture-centered learning environments. Continuous innovation should target more personalized, adaptive programs that address individual learning styles and operational contexts. Integrating artificial intelligence to simulate complex scenarios and analyze trainee performance could further elevate effectiveness. Meanwhile, expanding global partnerships will help disseminate best practices and resources into traditionally underserved regions, narrowing safety gaps. In conclusion, aviation safety training programs are not static educational events but dynamic, multifaceted processes central to the preservation and advancement of flight safety. Their success depends on a finely balanced integration of realistic simulation, continuous assessment, cultural alignment, leadership engagement, and innovative delivery. By developing knowledgeable, skilled, and safety-conscious personnel prepared for the complexities of aviation operations, these programs safeguard millions daily. As the skies grow busier and technological frontiers advance, maintaining and enhancing the effectiveness of safety training will remain an unyielding priority that shapes the resilient future of aviation worldwide. Aviation safety is a domain where data reigns supreme. In the quest to prevent accidents, optimize operations, and protect lives, the aviation industry relies heavily on sophisticated data analysis methods. These methodologies unravel hidden patterns, identify emerging risks, and provide evidence-based guidance for proactive interventions. As aircraft and systems generate increasingly vast quantities of digital information from flight data recorders, maintenance logs, incident reports, air traffic control communications, weather systems, and human factors assessments, the challenge has evolved from obtaining data to effectively analyzing and interpreting it. Thus, understanding the modern approaches to aviation safety data analysis is essential for grasping how the industry continuously advances towards safer skies. Data collection in aviation safety is highly diverse, reflecting the complexity of flight operations. Flight data recorders, FDR, popularly known as black boxes, systematically log hundreds of parameters per second. These include altitude, airspeed, heading, engine performance, control inputs, and autopilot status. Complementing the FDR is the cockpit voice recorder, CVR, capturing audio from pilots, instruments, and ambient cockpit noise. Together, these devices provide a comprehensive temporal record of each flight. Beyond onboard sources, ground-based information such as incident and accident investigation reports, pilot fatigue and wellness data, maintenance and inspection records, meteorological data, and air traffic communications form crucial data inputs. Moreover, voluntary safety reporting systems, where operators and crew submit hazard or near-miss reports, enrich datasets with contextual narrative details and human observations. Once gathered, the data undergo complex pre-processing to ensure quality, consistency, and usability. Standardization of formats, cleansing of erroneous or incomplete data, and anonymization to preserve privacy are foundational steps. This pre-processing phase often encounters challenges due to disparate data sources, variances in recording standards between operators or countries, and issues with missing or corrupted data segments. Establishing metadata standards and ontologies supports integration, enabling federated analysis across multiple datasets. Such standardization allows, for example, the consolidation of flight data from an entire airline fleet or from multiple operators to identify industry-wide trends. The core of aviation safety data analysis involves a spectrum of analytical techniques, each tailored to extract different insights. Frequency-based analysis is among the simplest and most commonly employed methods. It assesses the occurrence rates of safety events or hazards, ranking them to prioritize risk management efforts. For instance, an airline might track how often high-speed landings occur across different airports or aircraft types, using the results to implement corrective training or procedural changes. While useful, frequency analysis primarily highlights what happens most often, without fully explaining why or predicting future risk. To delve deeper, statistical modeling techniques such as regression analysis, multivariate statistics, and Bayesian inference explore relationships between variables and outcomes in safety data. These methods can quantify how specific factors like weather conditions, aircraft type, or crew experience influence the likelihood or severity of safety events. Hypothesis testing further validates these relationships' significance, supporting data-driven decision-making and regulation adjustments. Time series analysis plays a crucial role in monitoring temporal trends and detecting changes over time, such as seasonal variations in incident rates or the impact of newly introduced safety measures. More advanced methods leverage machine learning and artificial intelligence to identify complex patterns and predict future risks. Supervised learning algorithms train on historical labeled data to classify events or forecast outcomes, such as the probability of mechanical failures or runway excursions. Unsupervised learning techniques, including clustering and anomaly detection, uncover previously unseen groupings or unusual cases in data that may indicate emerging hazards. These cutting-edge approaches empower aviation safety managers with predictive tools that shift focus from reactive investigations to proactive risk mitigation. Data visualization is an indispensable component of aviation safety analytics. The intricate and voluminous nature of safety data demands clear, intuitive presentation to enable human understanding and informed decisions. Interactive dashboards provide real-time monitoring of key performance indicators, KPIs, and safety metrics. Heat maps illustrate geographic distributions of incidents, highlighting hotspot areas for focused interventions. Network graphs and causal maps can depict the chain of events leading to incidents, facilitating root cause analysis. Effective visualization bridges the gap between complex data science and operational safety management, promoting better communications among airline management, regulators, and frontline employees. The Aviation Safety Information Analysis and Sharing (ASHA's) system exemplifies such integrated data initiatives. ASHA's consolidates multiple safety databases including flight data from many operators and provides analytic capabilities for querying, trend analysis, and risk prioritization. Similarly, various airlines and manufacturers implement Flight Data Monitoring (FDM) or Flight Operations Quality Assurance (FOQA) programs that continuously analyze operational flight data to identify deviations, unsafe practices, and safety threats before they result in accidents. These systems enable not only internal improvements but also industry-wide knowledge sharing, accelerating safety learning. Case studies highlight the real-world impact of systematic data analysis. For example, analysis of wrong runway landings revealed contributing factors ranging from air traffic control instructions to pilot situational awareness. Tracking occurrence rates and outcomes enabled airlines and regulators to develop layered safety barriers, including enhanced pilot training, improved approach procedures, and technological aids like runway awareness systems. In maintenance, predictive analytics applied to component performance data identify parts at risk of failure, enabling preemptive replacements and avoiding costly unscheduled repairs or accidents. Human factors data also enrich safety analyses, offering insights into how fatigue, communication breakdowns, and decision-making influence incidents. The intersection of quantitative performance data with qualitative safety reports allows a more holistic understanding of aviation risk. Such combined analyses have driven initiatives like crew resource management, CRM, training, fostering improved teamwork and communication under stress. Despite these advances, aviation safety data analysis faces ongoing challenges. Data quality and completeness remain critical concerns, requiring continuous refinement of collection processes and cross-industry standard harmonization. The sheer volume of data demands scalable analytical infrastructure and expertise in data science, creating resource and skills pressures for some operators. Ensuring data security and privacy, particularly around sensitive human factors information, requires robust governance frameworks and technological safeguards. Moreover, translating analytic findings into actionable safety improvements depends on effective organizational culture and communication, without which insights risk being underutilized. Looking to the future, the adoption of more sophisticated analytics including deep learning, natural language processing for unstructured safety reports, and integrated multi-source data fusion promises additional safety gains. Real-time data streaming and edge computing on aircraft can provide near-instant alerts to crews and analysts. Collaboration between airlines, regulatory bodies, manufacturers, and research institutions is accelerating the development of shared safety repositories and analytic platforms, enabling collective defense against emerging risks. In summary, aviation safety data analysis methods have evolved into a multifaceted discipline that integrates diverse data sources, advanced analytics, and human expertise. These tools transform raw operational and investigative data into actionable knowledge that drives the continuous improvement of aviation safety. By enabling early identification of hazards, enhancing understanding of causal factors, and supporting predictive risk management, data analysis forms the backbone of modern aviation's proactive safety culture. As the industry confronts growing operational complexity and new technological frontiers, the refinement and expansion of these analytical capabilities remain essential pillars supporting safer skies for all. Data visualization has become an indispensable pillar within aviation safety, transforming how complex and massive datasets are interpreted, communicated, and acted upon. This transformation is vital because aviation generates enormous volumes of multifaceted data across diverse sources including flight data records, safety incident reports, maintenance logs, air traffic control systems, weather monitoring, and human factors assessments. Converting these raw figures into clear, accurate, and actionable insights demands advanced visualization techniques that cater not only to data scientists but to pilots, maintenance crews, safety managers, and regulators alike. As the demands on the aviation industry grow, so does the imperative to leverage innovative visualization methods that enhance situational awareness, promote proactive risk identification, and ultimately contribute to safer skies. One of the fundamental objectives of data visualization in aviation safety is to distill large, often overwhelming collections of data into comprehensible graphical formats that reveal patterns, trends, and anomalies instantly recognizable to decision makers. While tabular data and text-based reports provide granular details, they often fall short in conveying the interrelationships and contextual influences crucial for understanding systemic safety risks. Visual representations, graphs, heat maps, dashboards, and timelines enable stakeholders to perceive spatial, temporal, and causal connections at a glance, connecting disparate information in holistic narratives. This capability accelerates risk identification and prioritization, streamlines communication across multidisciplinary teams, and supports evidence-based interventions. A frequently employed visualization technique involves incident mapping using geospatial data. Mapping incident frequencies and distributions to specific airports, air corridors, or terminal sectors creates hotspot visualizations that pinpoint recurrent problem areas. This geographical awareness directs regulatory inspections, pilot briefings, and infrastructure improvements to the most critical locations. For example, heat maps showing clusters of runway incursions or near misses at certain airports have facilitated targeted investments in lighting, signage, and procedural changes, thereby reducing risk. Moreover, integrating weather data overlays with these maps allows visualization of temporal correlations between adverse meteorological conditions and safety events, aiding operational planning. Beyond spatial mapping, time series visualizations reveal evolving trends and cyclical patterns within safety metrics. Graphs charting monthly or daily incident rates, mechanical failures, or hazard reports expose fluctuations that may correspond to operational changes, regulatory adjustments, or seasonal factors. Time series analysis integrated into visuals allows safety managers to monitor the effectiveness of safety interventions, identify emerging risks quickly, and allocate resources proactively. Interactive dashboards enhance this capability by offering drill-down functions, enabling users to analyze data segmented by aircraft type, route, crew demographics, or maintenance providers, thereby illuminating underlying causal factors. Causal pathway diagrams offer profound insights by visually mapping chains of events leading to incidents or accidents. These directed graphs summarize complex accident investigations, showing how human errors, technical failures, environmental factors, and organizational deficiencies interconnect in sequences culminating in adverse outcomes. For investigators and safety managers, such diagrams simplify understanding multifaceted incidents, highlighting intervention points and prioritizing mitigations. They also support training and risk communication by telling coherent, visual stories that resonate beyond dry statistics. With growing emphasis on systemic safety, these visual tools foster an organizational culture that appreciates complexity rather than oversimplifying accidents to single causes. Advanced visualization techniques now delve into multidimensional and real-time data contexts. Interactive 3D models recreate airport surfaces, taxiways, and air traffic flows, offering realistic visualizations used in pilot training and safety assessments. These models can simulate scenarios like aircraft taxiing conflicts or ground vehicle incursions, allowing users to explore what-if safety analysis visually. Onboard visualization displays in modern aircraft cockpits harness augmented reality (AR) to project critical flight information directly within pilots' field of vision, reducing cognitive load and enhancing hazard awareness, especially during approach and landing phases. The integration of visualization directly into operational displays exemplifies how visualization transcends analysis to become a proactive safety tool. Emerging innovations exploit machine learning and big data coupled with visualization to expose subtle patterns and predict safety risks. Anomaly detection algorithms highlight unusual flight behaviors such as deviations in engine performance or control inputs, visually flagged in real-time dashboards for immediate crew and operations response. Predictive risk models visually express probability maps indicating flights or routes with elevated risks due to weather, traffic congestion, or maintenance vulnerabilities. By visualizing predictive uncertainty, these tools support informed risk management decisions and optimize preventive measures. Thus, aviation safety visualization is not just retrospective but increasingly anticipatory, contributing to early warning systems and adaptive safety responses. Despite these advances, challenges persist in aviation safety data visualization. Ensuring clarity and avoiding cognitive overload for end users is paramount. Aviation professionals, especially pilots and controllers, operate under high stress and time-critical conditions. Excessive or poorly designed visualization can distract or overwhelm rather than assist. Thus, user-centered design principles drive aviation visualization development, emphasizing simplicity, context sensitivity, and decision support rather than raw data display. Different user roles require tailored visualizations, balancing detail with accessibility. Continuous user testing and iterative refinement remain essential to align visualization tools with operational realities. Data security and privacy concerns add further complexity. Aviation safety data often contains sensitive information on individuals and critical infrastructure. Visualization platforms must embed robust encryption, access controls, and compliance with regulations like GDPR while facilitating safe data sharing across organizations. Balancing transparency for safety improvement and confidentiality obligations demand sophisticated data governance integrated into visualization systems. In practice, aviation organizations employ a wide range of commercial and custom-built visualization tools embedded within their safety management systems, SMS. These systems unify data inputs and deliver interactive interfaces for risk assessment, incident tracking, training evaluation, and compliance monitoring. Airlines may use geovisualization platforms linked to flight operation centers, enabling proactive ground and flight crew briefings. Maintenance teams visualize component wear trends and inspection results to prioritize interventions visually. Regulators deploy dashboards consolidating data from many operators to oversee industry-wide safety trends, facilitating targeted oversight and resource allocation. This ecosystem underscores visualization as a ubiquitous and strategic asset in aviation safety. Academic and industry collaboration continues to push the frontier in aviation safety visualization. Research explores the integration of immersive technologies like virtual reality, VR, for hazard identification training and safety culture reinforcement. Studies demonstrate improved decision-making and hazard awareness when complex safety data are presented with immersive, interactive visuals in training environments. Artificial intelligence is being harnessed to recommend visualization options and generate explanations, making data insights more accessible to non-expert users. These trends illustrate a future where visualization adapts dynamically, personalizes content, and integrates seamlessly into operational workflows, expanding its impact on aviation safety. In conclusion, data visualization in aviation safety has evolved from basic charts to sophisticated, interactive, and real-time graphical systems critical for understanding complex safety environments. It enables the transformation of vast, heterogeneous aviation safety data into actionable intelligence, facilitating hazard identification, risk mitigation, and informed decision-making across all levels of aviation operations. By amplifying human analytic capacities and fostering collaborative safety culture, visualization tools serve as essential enablers for continuous safety improvements. As the complexity of aviation systems grows and novel safety challenges emerge, ongoing innovation and user-focused design in data visualization will remain central to advancing the industry's formidable safety achievements. The trends in aviation safety data analysis in 2025 reflect a dynamic landscape shaped by technological advances, evolving regulatory environments, emerging risks, and a relentless commitment to safety improvement. As the global aviation system adapts to increasing traffic volumes, climate challenges, and advances in automation, data analysis continues to play a pivotal role in identifying risks, evaluating interventions, and guiding policy. The International Civil Aviation Organization (ICAO) State of Global Aviation Safety 2025 report and other authoritative reviews offer valuable insights into current safety outcomes, challenges, and future directions. In the years leading up to 2025, commercial aviation safety has demonstrated remarkable progress, achieving some of the lowest accident and fatality rates ever recorded. The industry's dedication to rigorous data collection, transparency, and collaborative safety initiatives contributed to this historic improvement. ICAO's data shows that although the total number of accidents in 2024 rose modestly compared to 2023, the overall rates remained substantially below previous decades, continuing a long-term downward trend. This reflects the integration of advanced data analytics, enhanced pilot training, modern safety management systems, SMS, and international cooperation that have collectively elevated safety performance. Notably, the aviation safety landscape in 2024 and 2025 underscores a shift toward more proactive and predictive safety management rather than merely reactive investigations. Emerging trends emphasize the integration of artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, ML, into safety data analysis. These technologies enable the industry to move toward a safety AI paradigm focusing on understanding why operations succeed and maintaining resilient performance under varying conditions rather than only analyzing failures. Predictive analytics models analyze vast datasets from flight operations, maintenance records, and environmental conditions to anticipate potential safety hazards, allowing early interventions. The adoption of AI-powered tools extends across multiple facets of aviation safety. For predictive maintenance, ML algorithms detect subtle patterns in component performance data to forecast failures before they manifest, thereby reducing unscheduled downtime and accident risk. In flight operations, anomaly detection systems continuously scan flight data for deviations from expected parameters, whether in speed, altitude, engine performance, or control inputs, alerting crews and ground teams to potential issues in real time. This integration of real-time data analytics fosters a safety ecosystem where data acts as an early warning system, enabling prompt corrective action that saves lives. Another key trend in 2025 involves enhanced industry-wide data sharing and collaboration. The aviation community increasingly recognizes that safety challenges transcend individual airlines and national boundaries. Collaborative platforms, such as the Aviation Safety Information Analysis and Sharing (ASHAS) in the United States and similar initiatives elsewhere, facilitate centralized collection and anonymized sharing of safety data across carriers, air traffic control, manufacturers, and regulators. This pooling of collective safety insights enables more comprehensive risk assessments, identification of systemic issues, and coordinated responses. Regulatory frameworks are evolving to encourage and protect this collaborative data exchange, balancing transparency with confidentiality. Environmental and climate-related risks have assumed increasing prominence in aviation safety data analysis. Extreme weather events such as turbulence, storms, heat waves, and wind shear account for a growing share of incidents and operational disruptions. Climate change has amplified these risks by increasing the frequency and severity of weather phenomena, presenting novel challenges for flight planning and execution. For example, enhanced turbulence detection systems and more sophisticated weather modeling tools are being deployed industry-wide, informed by extensive meteorological and flight performance data. These technological and procedural adaptations improve predictive capabilities and resilience in the face of evolving climate impacts. Human factors remain central to aviation safety trends in 2025. Data analysis now routinely integrates physiological and psychological metrics, such as fatigue monitoring, stress indicators, and workload assessments, alongside operational parameters. Advances in wearable technology and mobile apps enable continuous monitoring of crew well-being, informing scheduling decisions and risk management. Safety management systems increasingly incorporate these human factors data streams to better understand how human performance contributes to incidents and how to optimize training, rostering, and support systems to mitigate risks. Regulatory evolution continues to influence data analysis trends. In 2024, the Federal Aviation Administration's expanded SMS mandates extended requirements to new operator categories, including Part 135 on-demand operators and certain manufacturers, necessitating tailored data management capabilities in smaller and specialized operations. The European Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, released updated safety review guidelines emphasizing integrated risk management across all facets of air transport. Globally, regulators increasingly emphasize data-driven compliance and audit processes, encouraging or mandating the use of digital SMS platforms integrated with real-time analytics. Technological innovation also extends to emerging aviation domains, notably unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, or drones. The safe integration of these rapidly proliferating platforms into shared airspace is a major focus of safety data collection and analysis. Operators and regulators are developing new standards and digital tools to monitor drone traffic, detect conflicts, and enforce geofencing restrictions. Data collected from UAV operations provide valuable lessons applicable not only to drones but also to broader traffic management and collision avoidance systems in the increasingly crowded skies. Cybersecurity has emerged as a critical frontier intersecting with aviation safety data analysis. Increasing digitization and network connectivity expose aviation systems to evolving cyber threats. Safety data architecture must now incorporate robust cybersecurity analytics to detect and respond to intrusion attempts or data integrity breaches. Cross-sector collaborations are fostering new methodologies combining safety and cybersecurity risk assessments, reflecting the need to protect not only physical systems but also the integrity of the data driving safety decisions. Training and human-machine interface developments continue to harness safety data insights. Simulator scenarios increasingly reflect real-world incident data, including rare but high-impact events, providing trainees with evidence-based exposure to emerging threats. Advanced data visualizations, often powered by AI, support crew decision-making by presenting risk assessments dynamically during flight simulations and live operations. These innovations enhance the alignment of training with operational realities, reinforcing preparedness and resilience. Market dynamics also shape the trends in safety data analysis. The aviation safety market is expanding rapidly, driven by increasing demand for air travel, regulatory pressures, and investment in cutting-edge safety technology. Growth is particularly robust in predictive analytics, automated monitoring systems, and integrated safety platforms. While North America and Europe currently lead market adoption due to their established infrastructure, Asia-Pacific represents a rapidly growing segment as its aviation market expands and modernizes. This growth is accompanied by investments in local capacity building and technology transfer to maintain global safety standards. Despite overwhelming safety advancements, the incremental increase in accident figures in 2024 and early 2025 serves as a reminder of persistent vulnerabilities and emerging challenges. These include operational disruptions due to geopolitical tensions, airspace restrictions, and new security threats. The COVID-19 pandemic's after-effects on workforce experience and operational consistency have made safety vigilance even more critical. Data analysis frameworks are continuously adapting to incorporate these complex, multifactorial influences into risk assessments, ensuring comprehensive situational awareness. In conclusion, the trends shaping aviation safety data analysis in 2025 highlight a vibrant intersection of technology, regulation, human factors, and global cooperation. Leveraging AI, big data, and collaborative platforms is pushing the industry towards predictive, proactive safety management models. Concurrently, the industry remains keenly aware of emerging environmental, cyber, and operational risks. The resulting dynamic balance ensures that aviation safety continues its trajectory of remarkable improvement, securing the confidence of passengers and stakeholders alike in an ever more complex and interconnected global air transport system. As aviation safety steadily advances into the mid-2020s, the industry faces new horizons shaped by interconnected technological, environmental, and operational challenges. The future of aviation safety data analysis is fundamentally a story about harnessing innovation while maintaining human-centered resilience within increasingly complex systems. From the insights gleaned in authoritative global reviews such as the ICAO State of Global Aviation Safety 2025 and the European Union South Annual Safety Review 2025, we see the safety landscape evolving toward predictive, integrated, and collaborative paradigms, each dependent on deepening the role of data and analysis as both guideposts and guardians of global flight. One of the most prominent emerging trends is the expansive integration of artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, ML. While already in use for predictive maintenance and anomaly detection, the future promises more sophisticated AI-driven analytics that will autonomously synthesize data from thousands of flights in near real time. These systems will identify subtle, non-linear risk patterns imperceptible to human analysts and conventional statistics. AI will act as an early warning sentinel, flagging emergent hazards before they manifest into incidents. Importantly, explainable AI models will increasingly accompany predictions to afford transparency and trust, enabling aviation operators and regulators to confidently act on AI-derived insights. The connectivity between aircraft, control centers, maintenance bases, and regulatory bodies will become more instantaneous and comprehensive. With the rise of cloud computing and 5G networks globally, the aviation ecosystem will evolve into a tightly coupled, digital nervous system. Real-time streaming of flight data, including biosensor feedback from crew fatigue monitors, environmental readings, and flight system performance, will be leveraged to provide dynamic safety risk assessments. This seamless data integration empowers proactive recommendations, adaptive flight planning to circumvent risks like weather or traffic congestion, and just-in-time maintenance scheduling to address emerging equipment degradation. Human factors remain a cornerstone for future safety data analysis, but their measurement and integration will become more nuanced and pervasive. Collecting physiological and cognitive data unobtrusively through wearable technologies and cockpit-integrated monitoring systems will refine understanding of human performance dynamics. Combined with behavioral analytics, this unprecedented empirical insight into stress, fatigue, workload, and situational awareness will inform adaptive work-rest cycles, personalized training, and improved cockpit interface designs responsive to cognitive load. Future data analysis frameworks will marry human factors data tightly with mechanical and operational metrics to construct holistic predictive models of incident precursors. Data visualization tools will advance beyond dashboards to immersive, augmented environments that provide multidimensional safety insights intuitively and contextually. Augmented reality, AR, projections within cockpits and control centers will overlay real-time safety diagnostics directly onto physical controls and airspace views, reducing cognitive switching costs for operators. Aviation safety managers will use virtual reality, VR, simulations combining historical incident data with predictive modeling to rehearse responses to complex, compound scenarios. This fusion of analytics and immersive visualization heralds a new era of training, risk communication, and decision support that truly integrates data into human cognition and action. Global collaboration and data sharing initiatives will intensify and expand scope. Safety data repositories will grow richer, incorporating expanded data sources such as UAS, unmanned aerial systems, urban air mobility platforms, space tourism vehicles, and integrated surface management systems at busy airports. Cybersecurity frameworks protecting these critical digital infrastructures will evolve concurrently, embedding digital trust as fundamental to aviation safety. International standards will mature to ensure harmonized data formats, privacy protections, and cross-border analytics that transform fragmented data into a cohesive, shared intelligence. The aviation industry's increasing reliance on autonomous systems and automation will bring both opportunities and unique safety analysis challenges. While automation enhances operational consistency and reduces human error, it introduces new failure modes and complex human-machine interaction patterns that require advanced monitoring and interpretive analytic methods. Data analysis will focus increasingly on detecting automation mode confusion, transition errors, and system anomalies in highly automated environments. Researchers and practitioners will develop hybrid analytic frameworks that consider the taxonomy of automation use and its interplay with human cognition and organizational context. Sustainability and environmental factors are emerging decisively in aviation safety data analysis. Climate change's impacts such as increased turbulence, extreme weather events, and airport operational challenges will be quantitatively incorporated into risk models. Operators and regulators will leverage satellite data, high-resolution weather prediction models, and aircraft performance logs to build robust, environment-tailored safety strategies. Green technologies such as electric aircraft and alternative fuels introduce novel system interactions requiring vigilant safety tracking from design through deployment. These emergent environmental safety considerations embody a holistic vision where operational safety and sustainability advance hand in hand. The regulatory landscape will continue evolving to support these technological and operational transformations while safeguarding safety integrity. Emerging frameworks will mandate SMS expansion into emerging flight domains, such as drone operations and commercial space flights, requiring novel safety data paradigms and regulatory approaches. Data governance will remain a regulatory focal point, balancing open innovation facilitation with rigorous privacy, security, and ethical requirements. Regulators will increasingly utilize data-driven oversight, employing automated surveillance systems and AI-based compliance verifications to conduct risk-based inspections and resource optimization. Workforce development, essential for future aviation safety, will be strongly influenced by evolving data analysis capabilities. Training will incorporate real-time performance feedback, adaptive learning technologies, and virtual simulations grounded in latest safety data trends. The future aviation safety professional will act as a data-literate risk manager, skilled in interpreting advanced analytics and integrating cross-domain insights into comprehensive safety culture initiatives. Organizations will invest heavily in cultivating this expertise to navigate increasingly interconnected and data-rich aviation environments. In sum, the future trajectory of aviation safety data analysis toward intelligent, integrated, and human-centric approaches defines a transformational leap for the industry. Continuous innovation in AI, connectivity, human factors integration, visualization, and collaboration are propelling aviation toward a predictive safety ecosystem. This ecosystem promises faster hazard detection, precision risk mitigation, and resilient operations that adapt dynamically to emerging hazards and complex environments. The commitment to safety in this new era aligns with steadfast industry values, protecting lives while embracing innovation, with data analysis serving as the engine driving progress. As global aviation evolves to meet 21st-century challenges and opportunities, the stewardship of safety through enhanced analytics will remain non-negotiable. Aviation's future safety rests on the synergistic fusion of technology and human judgment, empowered by transparent, accessible, and actionable data insights. By fostering this synthesis, the industry will sustain its exemplary safety record amid growth and transformation, fulfilling the fundamental promise that every flight, no matter how complex or novel, arrives safely at its destination. The continuous pursuit of data-driven safety excellence thus paints a hopeful and determined picture for aviation's future, where innovation, teamwork, and vigilance combine to navigate an increasingly complex sky with confidence, responsibility, and care. Dear listeners, as we arrive at the final part of this journey through the intricate, profound, and often harrowing landscape of aviation safety and the final minutes inside a crashing plane, it is with a deep sense of respect and solemn reflection that we close this chapter. This narrative has taken us through technical marvels and mechanical failures, the human spirit under extreme duress, the evolving science of data analysis, and the art of transforming information into life-saving actions. But beyond statistics and systems, facts and formulas lies the heart of aviation's enduring purpose to protect and connect lives across the vast expanse of sky and time. The stories shared within these final moments have reminded us that aviation is not merely a technological feat but a profoundly human endeavor. Each flight embodies the hopes, dreams, and courage of those aboard and those guiding the journey from behind the controls. When disaster strikes, it is both a physical and emotional challenge, a collision of engineering and psychology, precision and unpredictability, calm and chaos. Yet, it is within these crucibles of crisis that the best of human resilience often emerges: rapid decisions, selfless actions, and the unyielding will to survive. The testimony of survivors, the words captured on cockpit recordings, and the meticulous work of investigators reveal the complexity of these moments where technology meets the raw human experience. As we have explored, the final minutes inside a crashing plane are a symphony of conflicting forces: technical anomalies escalating into emergencies, pilots managing unprecedented challenges, crews striving to safeguard passengers, and individuals grappling with fear, hope, and survival instincts. Behind the scenes, invisible to most travelers, lies a robust network of systems, regulations, training, and analysis dedicated to preventing tragedies. We have seen how aviation safety is continuously evolving, integrating cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence, immersive visualization, and advanced analytics to anticipate risks before they materialize, and to fine-tune human performance in high-stress environments. This journey also highlights the delicate balance aviation must maintain between embracing innovation and adhering to proven safety principles. While automation and digitalization enhance efficiency and consistency, they introduce novel challenges in human-machine interaction and cybersecurity. The industry's progress relies on fostering a safety culture that values transparency, continuous learning, and collaboration across borders and disciplines. Through data-sharing platforms and global cooperation, aviation strengthens its collective vigilance, striving always to learn from every incident, no matter how rare or complex, in pursuit of incremental improvements. Yet, perhaps the most profound lesson lies in recognizing the vulnerability and strength inherent in every flight. Aviation's greatest asset remains its human dimension: pilots, maintenance crews, air traffic controllers, safety professionals, researchers, and passengers, all interconnected participants in a shared journey. Investing in their training, well-being, and empowerment is paramount. Analytical tools, sophisticated machinery, and regulatory frameworks serve as invaluable supports, but it is the people who interpret, respond, and execute that ultimately determine the outcomes in the skies. In closing, this exploration of the final minutes and the broader tapestry of aviation safety offers more than knowledge, it offers perspective. The next time one boards an aircraft, there is comfort in knowing the relentless dedication behind those white wings, the layers of safety designed to detect and correct, and the global commitment that turns lessons from tragedy into measures of hope. It is a testament to human ingenuity, cooperation, and the shared responsibility to honor and protect the precious gift of life. Thank you, dear listeners, for accompanying me on this detailed journey into one of aviation's most compelling and important subjects. May this understanding inspire confidence and appreciation for the extraordinary confluence of technology, humanity, and vigilance that carries us safely through the skies. Until our next exploration, take care, stay curious, and fly safe.